185milessouth.com.
Smash that Patreon button.
185 Miles South, a hardcore punk rock podcast.
Is the nonsense that you're fitting. Everybody hates you for the things you died to build. Don't you try to tell me that you're not hurt anyway. Television faces give away what you think of. Meet me on the street where nobody lives. Meet me on the street where nobody lives. Meet me on the street where nobody lives tonight.
What's up, everyone? We are back and talking, Jesus Christ, it might be the birth of hardcore. We're going to talk 1978 today. And I think I should have dropped that like a minute in so everyone doesn't tune out, because this might be a little too old for a lot of people, because I know people don't like when it skews back too far. But anyway, we're getting into it, helping out. You know him. You love him. He can't wrap his arms around a memory. It's Dan Sant. What's up, dude?
You got to suck, Jackie, suck. Arise, Jackie.
Man, we're telling Ben to like stay consistent, and Dan is swallowing the mic. What's going on?
Oh, sorry. I just got excited for Jackie O.
Yeah, I can't blame you. All right, helping out. He's living his life in a chain gang. He's so well guarded. He's living his life in a chain gang. He's Ben Merlis, a.k.a. Ben Edge, a.k.a. Bedge. What's up, dude?
What's going on?
What is going on? And rounding us out, you can find him at the end of the street where nobody lives. But don't you dare call him Cincinnati. It is the man known as Clevo. What's up, Cleveland?
What's going on?
What is going on? All right. Like I said, we are going to talk 1978. And we did 79. It was killer. What a year. And 78, it seemed daunting. This is probably like the Genesis year for like what this podcast is, right? It's a hardcore punk podcast, and maybe the first hardcore record was from this year, Middle Class Out of Vogue. Ben, do you think that's the first hardcore record?
Yeah, and it was recorded in 78, but I think it came out in 79, and it was on the table for the 79 episode, so I think it's off the table for this one.
Are you sure?
Zack rewrites his list right now.
I wasn't going to take it, but it's not like that on Discogs, at least. Generally, we go off Discogs. So it's not like one of those things where like the test press says 78 and like the record is in 79, you know?
Yeah, but I think they like made the artwork with the copyright in 78 and it actually came out in 79. That's what I was told.
Well, that's some shit. So, hey, what are you going to do? Dan, what do you think? 1978.
This is a monster year. This is so crazy that I just got my list down from 57, my short list, down from 57 songs to 33. And some of that editing hurt. So I can only imagine what it's going to be like trying to get the 7 in. Maybe I'll have to do the patented Dan Sant. This one into this one into this one, but they're 3 different bands off of 3 different records.
Yeah, what are you going to do? My list is, I got it down pretty good, but it's rough, dude. I'm down to a hard 13 where I can't give up anything. So I'm hoping that I get swooped here. We'll see. Clevo, 1978. What do you think?
I mean, front to back, just like every record that just is on the list that we have, there's just like so much we can take. And like Dan said, I probably have a list of about 20 or 30 releases that I could take any song off of and I'd be happy.
Yeah. For the younger people listening, like, I know it seems daunting going back this long. Like, I don't know what people's like date for being interested in stuff like starts at, but like this year is so good. I would just encourage you to check out the playlist. Like, there's stuff on here that like I hadn't fucked with before, and I was like, God damn, it's sick. Like, for instance, we'll get into it, but like the Saints record from this year, I had no idea that it was this good. And now, like, ever since I started jamming it, probably like 4 months ago, like it's probably my most played record, you know, in the last few months. So, but we'll get into it. Ben, 1978, what's going on?
It's the Skids versus the Wipers. It's X versus Generation X versus X-ray specs. It's alternative TV versus television personalities. It's the Normals versus the Weirdos. It's the Kids versus Rich Kids. Sex Pistols break up in January. Sid goes solo, then murders or doesn't murder his girlfriend. Johnny loses the rotten and starts caring about his public image in a limited capacity. The Clash get the Blue Oyster Cult guy to produce their second album because they fucking love American hard rock music. The Damned reunite without Brian James, R.I.P. Tommy Ramone temporarily loses his mind and is replaced by Voidoid's drummer Marky, who by sheer coincidence also has the last name Ramone. Post-punk is heating up, but so is that itty-bitty transitional stage between punk and hardcore. 1.5 is alive with Germs, F-Word, DOA, Dickies, Fear, Negative Trend, Canadian Subhumans, and the birth of Bedge and the Dead Kennedys. It's a full-on West Coast assault. At the same time, major labels are just beginning to give up on their investment in punk rock music. Labels that are founded: Slash, Posh Boy, Factory, Good Vibrations, Fast Product, and Cherry Red are a few that I plucked out. That's what I got.
Yeah, not all given up though, because the Dickies get signed and put out their first LP in 79, right?
Yeah, they get signed in 78. I think by 79, you don't really have major labels signing punk bands with maybe a couple exceptions.
That's right, because as we've talked plenty of times on here, including in the Lisa Fancher interview when she goes deep into it, the Circle Jerks have trouble finding someone to put out their LP in 1980, which is insane, right? It's like the original singer of Black Flag singing for, you know, one of the greatest hardcore punk records of all time, and like they don't have people just like in a fucking bid off for it. That's insane. So
well,
anyway,
although to be fair, there I don't think any major label would have signed the Circle Jerks and put out Group Sex in any capacity. I mean, that's a really extreme record.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. But, you know, by the mid 80s, there are plenty of heavy metal records that are like more extreme that are being put out by major labels, right? We're only a few years away.
That's right.
So, okay. We are doing a Super 7. Dan, let people know the rules and let them know the order that we are picking in.
Okay, a Super 7 is where we each select a song in order to build a 7-song playlist. And then we have the wonderful 185 listeners vote on who they think had the best playlist. Rounds 5 and 6 are the speed rounds, so we won't really get deep into the weeds on the songs in rounds 5 and 6. We'll just say a couple sentences about why we picked it, and we'll move on. And the order for this week is Ben first, me second, Clevo third, Zack in the Nard Curse spot.
Yeah, and just real quick, I forgot to say, because Ben was pretty ambiguous over if Sid Vicious killed Nancy or not. We got to go off what Waddy said, dude. Sid Vicious is innocent. Come on, man. All right. Dan,
That's good enough for me. That's good enough for me.
That's what I'm saying, dude. And I was going back to my notes, so I missed the order, but whoever has the number one pick, go ahead and take it.
That's Ben.
That would be me.
Okay. Get it, Ben.
I don't remember the last time I had the number one pick. So much responsibility lying on my shoulders.
That's right. And Ben, what did I ask? What did I ask you in the chat? Are you going to take Lexicon Devil, or are you going to take the Neutron Bomb?
Well, my pick is going to be a Los Angeles band, so that narrows it down to Lexicon Devil and Neutron Bomb and many other things. I gotta go in. I gotta swoop in and steal Zach's number one pick. Strategically speaking, although even if we weren't playing strategically, this still might be my number one for 1978. We got the Neutron Bomb by the Weirdos. This is on Danger House Records. If you go back in the archives, we interviewed Cliff Roman, guitarist of the Weirdos, and we got deep into how he and the rest of the band recorded the single. And what a shame that they didn't do a whole album. They just did the A side, Neutron Bomb and Solitary Confinement, the B side, because it is the perfect sounding punk record. It sounds massive and it's so catchy. And we know it was recorded in January of '78 because he talks about jumping in the car with the rest of the Weirdos to see the Sex Pistols play what would end up being their last show ever, not counting reunions, at Winterland in January 14th, 1978. So we know it was that within those first 2 weeks. Great cover art, really funny lyrics. What more can be said? We've already talked this song to death, but I had to pick it.
Yeah, funny in like an ironic way, not a like he farted way. You know what I mean? Like it's clever. You know what I mean? Like these lyrics aren't a turnoff for me. This is one of the greatest songs ever. You know what it is from them just hitting a fucking ring out, you know, and it's great. Although, Ben, you think you swooped me, but 2025, I'm more of a solitary confinements man these days. So we will see. This is one of the ultimate questions. You like side A or side B, Neutron Bomb or Solitary Confinement? I'm leading side B a little bit, but this is perfect. Dan, what do you think about this?
I'm with you, Zach. Solitary Confinement is my choice, but I've got to say, I don't know if there is a more complete 45 ever. You know, this side A and side B is absolutely unstoppable. So I'm really glad this was picked. Solitary Confinement is still out there, and but I'm not going to take it next. But I will let you all fight over it like the dogs you are, because Ben has already taken Neutron Bomb. There's just too much out there, so the fact that it's already been mentioned, I'll move on. But I mean, this is one of the things that, like, when I first heard it, I was like, oh, this is good. And then every single year, it just gets better and better. It's so weird. It ages so much better every single year.
Yeah, it's a travesty there weren't more songs recorded in this session, because it sounds so perfect. It sounds so much better than the other 7-inch. Like, you know, it's one of those big what ifs to me, recording wise, right? The other one that I've been on recently is like, what if Rorschach like recorded at Normandy? Like, can you imagine how Remain Sedate would sound? God damn, it'd be one of the greatest hardcore records ever. You know, instead of like one where you have to be a fan of hardcore to like really enjoy it and take it in. But that's not 70. What, Dan?
It would be like the oral version of one of those waves in that HBO show, just bashing you into the rocks, you know?
Yeah, for sure. Okay, Dan, let's go to you for your number one.
All right. Well, you in the intro with Benjamin discussed that Middle Class Out of Vogue being the first hardcore record. Well, if that's the case, that it came out after this, then does Bullet become the first hardcore record? Like, is that a debate?
Nope. Great record, though.
You think it's just punk? Yes. Or is it 1.5?
Punk.
It's still a mid-tempo song.
Yeah, I suppose. I just hear the grunginess and the like, I don't know, the toughness of it. But I'm taking Bullet. I mean, this is just, it comes out the gate. The way the vocals sit within the music is perfect. It doesn't let up at all, except for at the very end, it does the down, now, like parts and that's the weakest part of the song. Like, Glenn being all over this and just ramping up, it's so perfect. And lyrically, it's so twisted and amazing at the same time. It's like really like outsider poetry about the assassination of Kennedy. And then you know, you can't go wrong with a song that says, "Let my come be your life force," and the only way to get it. So, Bullet, Misfits, Perfection, round 1 over.
What do you think, Clevo?
Yeah, this really sets up like the just the total package of the Misfits. If you look at the cover, the music, sort of Glenn, it just really sort of sets up and really it is one of the best Misfits song of their entire career. It's really even if I think the lyrics go from like really like clever, like talking about the Kennedy assassination, to being like kind of stupid and kind of goofy, and like I guess that's the Misfits, like kind of stupid, kind of goofy, kind of like on point all at the same time. But yeah, top song. And just I think that if you really wanted to introduce someone to the Misfits, you would definitely have this song on that short list.
It's just out the gate. It's so intense, right? And like, it's that perfect up tempo, mid tempo, where it's just like, it's about as fast as you can downstrum, if you're like a average, above average guitarist, what do you think, Ben?
Great pick. This is my entree into the Misfits. When I was in junior high, there was like this headbanger kid who would had a Misfits patch on his leather jacket, and I just assumed they were some shitty metal band. And then my dad's friend Gene Scolati set me straight. He recorded a cassette of just this 7-inch. So it's I don't remember the order, but Bullet, Attitude, 138, Hollywood Babylon, and from that point on, it was like, oh, the Misfits are incredible. So these songs hold a special place in my heart. I remember attempting to cover this song with Fields of Fire in a practice and realizing like, wow, like Glenn Danzig is a wildly better singer with a much, much deeper voice than me. So this shit is not going to fly. So it never left the practice space. But yeah, this song makes no sense at all, but is the catchiest thing in the world. And yes, just like Clevo said, that basically sums up this band.
All right, let's go to you, Clevo, for your number 1.
So, going back to the Danger House and the Weirdos. Well, I am going to take the side B from where we got the Neutron Bomb, and I'm going to take Solitary Confinement. Choosing between these two is really difficult. Like, the choice was made for me. If I would have had the first pick, I would have had a difficult time choosing between the two. Going back to what one of us said when we were talking about we got the Neutron Bomb, I actually think that this is the best American punk 45 single in existence. I think the A side, the B side, the packaging, all of it together, I think this is number 1, top of the list. So yeah, I don't think there's much more we need to say about it. I think maybe this song is a little more aggressive than Neutron Bomb. It's a little more it's not hardcore, but it's you could play this in a hardcore band and sort of make it a hardcore song unto itself. So yeah, it's we don't really need to say much more about it. It's great. It's out there. If you've never heard this, it's there. So there's not much more to say about it.
It's so good, dude. And yeah, it's a tick faster than Neutron Bomb, so it's gnarly. And you want to hear the hardcore version? Just hear Negative Approach cover it. It's so sick, dude. Dan, what do you think?
Yeah, the one thing I love about this song in particular, which I think puts it slightly over Neutron Bomb for me, is just the amount of different like guitar lines that are not the main riff, that are just like really, I don't know, since we're doing a boomer ass episode, I will say rocking the song out. I just really love it. I love the guitar work on this record.
It's 30 seconds shorter too. So It doesn't hit that shameful 3-minute mark that We Got the Neutron Bomb does. Although if a punk song is going to do it, Neutron Bomb's the one. Okay, I am going to take Lexicon Devil because it's there. It came out on a single in 78 before it got re-released on the LP in 79. The single version is, I believe, a little slower than the LP version, although it's not on Spotify right now. So you're going to get the LP version. But I mean, this is one of the Germs hits. You know it. Give me your head. Give me your mind. It's like one of those songs where it's like, I mean, the body of the song is great. The music anyway, right? But like someone like Darby Crash singing over the top of it, like he's the one that like makes it a 10 out of 10, you know? And again, it's like when you read the lyrics, it's like, God damn, this guy is like an amazing lyricist, you know? And last year we did a lot of Dan's, his travels through the Poison Idea catalog and diving into a lot of the Poison Idea lyrics. Like, you know, we were seeing how poetic Jerry A was, and this is what he's going for, you know what I mean? So like, I think that if you've never listened to the Germs LP without reading the lyric sheet, like you're really missing out because Darby's an insane poet. And yeah, this is one of the best songs. What do you think, Ben?
Yeah, this is one of the greatest songs ever. And I think in a recent episode, we talked about how this version, which is it's maybe a little bit slower. It definitely is slower and more laid back and more singy than the LP version, which comes out in 79. This is the better version. And I know other people who feel strongly in the other direction, but it just feels like this is like the way the song was meant to be. And man, those lyrics are good. I love that song. I want toy tin soldiers that can push and shove, gun boy rovers that'll wreck this club. It reminds me of like all those hardcore bands you know, I'm thinking of one in particular who are like, everybody wreck this fucking club. It's like, yeah, Darby Crash was saying that shit in 78. Might as well just transition into my second pick, which is also from this single, which is, by the way, the first ever record released by Slash. Slash was a magazine, and then it transitioned into being a record label starting with this single. I'm going to pick the Germs' No God, which is one of the B-side songs. It's a 3-song 7-inch, the other song being Circle One, the song that the band was named after. But No God is you know, you hear this is like a really, really common and sort of played out theme, although probably not as played out in 1978 as it is now, for punk bands to basically declare their atheism. But man, this might be the best atheist song. Oh, although Religious Wars is really good too by UK Subhumans. And I've read every book in the Bible story. All it ever gave me was another worry. And the rhythm is like, it's really strange. It's almost like, it almost sort of points to what Robo would end up doing with when he joined Black Flag as their drummer in 79. Kind of like that choppy, almost sounds like it's speeding up and slowing down. Like it's really like, it's not recorded in a heavy fashion. It's not like the guitars sounds metal or anything, but there's something really heavy about it, about the song itself. Almost like it's proto-hardcore. But yeah, No God. Actually, Lexicon Devil was my first choice, but I'm picking No God because Zack swooped in and got me.
I believe that this was also on the Yes to LA comp.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. This is a killer pick. And shout out, dude. Two Weirdos songs and 2 Germ songs. That's what I'm talking about. Let's go to you, Dan, for your number 2.
All right. I am going to go with a song that anytime you hear it, I guarantee it's going to brighten your day. Even if you're going through a breakup, you'll be like, you know what? There's more out there. I'm going with Teenage Kicks by the Undertones. I love the way this starts with the crack, crack, like the drums. And I absolutely just adore the riff. And then Fergal Sharkey's vocals come in. A teenage dream, so hard to be. It's so melodic, but it's just beautiful. It's like a beautiful punk song, you know? And, you know, it's well known by many, many people probably listening as well that the legendary UK DJ John Peel, this was his favorite song of all time. And he, basically was the one that was playing punk and all the new wave on the radio in England. And after 50 years, this was still his favorite song of all time. And there's a reason, like, this will hold hold a place in your heart forever if you get into this song. It's just so catchy and so amazing, and like the perfect 1978 song.
Yeah, this is a catchy ass song, dude. Got to give it to you. What do you think, Clevo?
Oh, this was gonna be my next pick. So yeah, really, just such a catchy song, and just such everything about the song so great. The chorus, it's just everything. It's hard to explain. It really is. The undertones. The undertones have other songs, but it's really like this is like the undertone song. And they really just like they had a moment with this one, because this is just like such a great song. And they do have other songs. They're not just like a one hit wonder, but like this is like the song, and it's just like so great. It's amazing that like people could come together and make something like this complete.
Yeah, this song has 78 million listens, more than their second most popular song.
Well,
That's something.
I DJ'd a wedding in the summer for some people. Well, the groom was from Belfast. This is a Northern Irish band. The groom was from Belfast, and all his family from Belfast was over, and I dropped this song, and it was like they were going to just kick over the DJ booth, just like screaming along. Like this must be their like national anthem. It was fantastic.
What do you think, Ben?
Yeah, it's a perfect song, and I'm at least responsible for a couple hundred of those 78 million plays. It very well recorded too. You can really turn this up loud in your car, and it sounds really good. And if you listen to Some Kind of Hate by the Misfits, which was also recorded in 78, but released many years later, it's pretty much the same song. And I was always trying to get to the bottom of it. Obviously, the undertones weren't trying to sound like the Misfits, since there's no way they could have possibly heard the Misfits song. So I guess it's a case of the Misfits trying to sound like the undertones. But yeah, this is a great band. And just like Clevo said, this is the undertone song. And I want to say this is their first single. So it's like you come out of the gate with something this perfect. And it's like, how do you live up to that? Although that first Undertones LP is not to be slept on.
All right, let's go to you, Clevo, for year number 2.
I'm going to take in 1978, the Buzzcocks released a lot of music. And I'm going to go kind of out of left field and take a B-side from this. I'm going to take Lipstick from the Promises 45. This is another one of those songs that I think is just kind of the total package. It's melodic. It's well written. It's the lyrics are like the wordplay on the lyrics are great. And I think that this is it's kind of amazing that this is a B-side, considering the fact they put out two LPs in 78 and also put out a couple singles, just like the amount of music they were putting out at this time. The guitar riff, which we may talk about a very similar song later tonight, is the guitar riff to this and the guitar riff to Shot by Both Sides by Magazine is pretty much identical, considering Howard Devoto was in the Buzzcocks before branching off to Magazine. That riff is just the riff's very catchy. The lyrics where it's like does your lipstick stick on my face, and then how he switches it up in the last time when it's like instead of in your dreams does your lover have my face, and the last one is in your dreams does my lover have your face. It's just really the wordplay on it's great. The Buzzcocks were great. P. Shelley wrote a ton of hits, and this is just I just can't believe this was a B-side.
What do you think, Ben?
Yeah, great song, Great pick. Thankfully, it's hard to swoop in and steal Buzzcocks songs for 1978 because they have like, I don't know, 24 perfect songs all released in 1978. This what I'm about to say will not make sense to Zach, but bear with me, everybody else. I always think of the Buzzcocks as the Beatles of punk, meaning just like God tier, absolutely perfect. Like, how did you come up with songs this great? Like, and so many of them. This being one of them. And it's like, what did you say? This is the B-side of Promises. It's like that
Yeah.
song's incredible. Imagine buying this record. It's like I'm not saying it's like Weirdos, Neutron Bomb, Solitary Confinement, but it's like, God damn, these are two pretty perfect songs. And it was like, and another thing about Buzzcocks, great cover art. They have their singles look like pieces of art. And I don't mean like, you have to be some art school kid to appreciate them. Just like really aesthetically pleasing, creative, good art. So they're kind of like the band of the year. If they were giving out a medal, like punk band of the year 1978, well, Buzzcocks cleaned up. I mean, look at their first 2 LPs came out this year alone, and there's not a dud on either of them.
And that's what I mean is they put out 2 LPs this year, and this doesn't even make either of the LPs. This is a single B-side.
Yeah, that's wild. That's wild. Let's go to Dan. What do you think?
I love the Buzzcocks so much. I have a different Buzzcocks song on my short list, one that I love, but I've always loved this song. The way it almost has like a little bit of a 50s style, like sock hop delivery on the your lipstick, like the way he does it. I don't know, it's almost serving girl group. It's a like a fantastic song, and the guitar playing is great. And I find that interesting that you said about, it's a similar or almost the same riff as Shot by Both Sides, which is a song I adore, and I think it might be showing up later. We'll see.
All right, I'm going to take my number 2. I am going to take Attitude. You got some fucking attitude. So good, dude. If Bullet's gone, I'm taking this one because inside your feeble brain, there's probably a whore. You know what I mean? And that's what I need in my Misfits is lyrics that connect to my 14-year-old self and melodies that I'm going to love until I'm fucking dead and gone. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's an all-time Misfits song. It's there. It's one of the 4 songs on the Bullet 7-inch. Although 138, dude, it's got one of the best guitar leads of all time. So it's hard to walk away from that one. But I am going to go Attitude. What do you think, Dan?
It's interesting that you take this because, you do have some attitude.
What? What are you saying?
This is where you take like really good punk, music, but it's going back to the Bullet theory, like the way that this is ramped into the upper echelon of ever songs that have existed in this genre is the way the lyrics and the delivery is just, it's instantly catchy. It's instantly written onto your brain after the first time you've heard it. You're singing along for the rest of your life. And like you said, you'll enjoy it till you're dead and gone. And I will too.
What do you think, Ben?
This was going to be either my next pick or the pick after that. So you jacked me. So now we're even. Yeah, this is so good. And one time back when people were on Facebook, I posed the question, Attitude by the Misfits or Attitude by the Bad Brains? And boy, did it elicit a lot of responses. I don't know which one got more votes, but and to this day, I'm still scratching my head wondering which one I would pick. But I think I might lean very, very slightly Misfits. Yeah, it's just, I've already talked this. It's incredible.
Well, this is a good episode. We're hearkening back to the good old days of 1978, and Ben is hearkening back to the good old days when he made a Facebook post and a bunch of people responded. Pretty epic. Okay, let's go to you. I think we're going back to Dan for his number 3.
Ben.
Oh, we're going to Ben for his number 3. The man who had the epic Facebook post. How about that?
All right.
Do it for Zuck.
I'm going to go Generation X, Kiss Me Deadly. This is off their self-titled debut album on Chrysalis Records. This is Billy Idol was the singer of Generation X. Everyone knows Billy Idol. Billy Idol's early solo is also good. So great songwriter. I just learned this fun or unfun fact about Generation X. Most of the songs were co-written by Billy Idol and bassist Tony James. However, Billy Idol wrote the music and Tony James wrote the lyrics. So it's kind of the reverse of what you would guess, that the singer not writing the lyrics, but actually writing the music. I used to call this the best punk rock love song ever written. And I'm going to modify that. I think it's actually a mini punk rock opera. And as gross as that may be now that Green Day has gotten in on that action, this is, pretty succinct in terms of a rock opera. I think it's like 4 minutes. I don't know. It's longer, probably longer than Zack likes, but for an opera, come on, pretty short. Just kind of a slice of life, sets the scene of teenagers in love and doing naughty things like shooting up for kicks. But it's so many different parts, yet they all work. One of the most difficult things to do is make an extremely complicated song and have it stay super catchy and hooky. And they just knocked it out of the park.
Yeah, I don't know. Dead Boys do a better ballad like the year before, right? Like they do a couple on Young, Loud, and Snotty that are better than this, I think. And the Saints do a couple good ballads from this year that I think are better. And if we're talking Kiss Me Deadly, dude, this version gets bodied by Lita Ford's Kiss Me Deadly. This song is a bore. So shout out Lita. What's going on? Clevo, what do you think about this one?
Yeah, I think that it does have that ballady sort of rock opera epic thing. And one of the things that I think, punk has always been portrayed as this like lack of talent and like short, fast songs. And, I think that punk was, much less codified in the 70s as it sort of becomes, like by, 2-3 years after this, it's like, oh, would this be considered a punk song? Or is this song punk enough? Yes, I think it is. But like, the fact that, it has that, clean guitar intro and it's not a short song and it's not a fast song, but the themes and the lyrics and all that, there's this this dynamic to the music that sort of goes away, where the songs are longer and there's a lot more, I feel like, put into these songs, that's not just like 3 chords and a cloud of dust. So yeah, this is this was on my list. Maybe we'll talk about Generation X again later, but there's so much other stuff to pick tonight. So, yeah, great song.
Dan, number 3.
All right. So this is a hardcore punk rock podcast, but I'm going to choose a punk rock song that is so amazing, but does it give hardcore something for the future? I think yes. This is the first song that we get a go.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going with Love Song by The Damned.
Sick.
This came out this year as a 7-inch prior to Machine Gun Etiquette coming out later. And this is just so good. It has the parts where like the soloing and stuff, it's really loud and noisy. And then that kind of cuts away to when Davanian comes in. I'll be the ticket if you're the collector, and the way the vocals like take over that noisiness, but with supreme command. Like this song is so good, catchiest chorus, and this is one if you don't want to be a full simp, but you want to be a semi simp, put this on a mix for a partner. This is great, just for you. Here's a love song.
Yeah, this song's so good. Youth Brigade, the LA one, like heard this verse and was like, we could do a band with that. you know, because
Yeah.
it sounds so much like they took this verse and just like did a band with it, you know, which is epic. This is one of the greatest songs of all time. Absolutely love it. What do you think, Ben?
Zach's number 6 pick for the 1979 Super 7, Love Song by the Damned. Way to go, dude. Great song, though.
Yeah, go check out the 1979 Super 7, everyone, for our takes on this song. Much respect, Ben, for pulling up that cut. Let's go to Clevo for his number 3.
All right. I'm already starting to get to the spots where I'm like, should I take this if I want to do get a little defensive here? But you know, sort of what I was saying when we were talking about Generation X. But you know, here's this. I'm going to take a song with some saxophone in it. I'm going to take X-Ray Specs. The day the world turned Dayglow.
I love it.
You know, that opening riff is so like crunchy and heavy. And then, you know, it just kicks into a saxophone. And then, you know, then you have Polly's such good vocals just coming with it. You know, when you think of punk, you know, sort of when we're talking about punk, you know, one of the things that always comes up is when we talk about things being snotty, and these are like the snottiest vocals. They're so good. And then the chorus is so catchy. So like this song just sort of has everything, you know, all wrapped up into like this 3-minute bag.
What do you think, Dan?
Yeah, Clevo really described that well. The way her vocals are really high register wise, but they bounce on the song so good, like almost like I don't know, perfection. And you know, this is almost like we love those referential songs. This is like double referential, like it's giving like maybe a nod towards nuclear war, but it's also referencing all the bright, obnoxious snot colors that punk introduced. And X-Ray Specs are fantastic because there's no one that sounds like them, and they're kind of an outlier within like that, but they're so like of that 77, 78 sound that they have the ability to have extremely catchy songs that would have been all over Top of the Pops, but they still have a little bit of hard to listen to ness about them. And I really love them. And what an icon! What a woman like leading the way. Amazing.
I think, you know, one of the things about the vocals is they're super clear, but they're also like there's like some force behind it. You know what I'm saying? Like there's power in her voice, even though her voice is like super clear. And, you know, when we've talked about other things, like, you know, Kathleen Hanna heard this and was like, that's what I want to sound like.
Absolutely. And what an amazingly rich recording. Like they obviously went, you know, this has got major label money behind it. They went and got produced and sound amazing.
Yep.
Even if you hate saxophone.
Yeah. You know, I'm usually not like an image guy that cares about how people look necessarily, but like she looks so fucking cool too. Like it's a part of it. Like there's that one photo, because I was pulling this up for, you know, bands from 78, and like there's that one where she's like singing. It's a black and white photo, their eyes closed, you can see like her whole front teeth. She has braces. Like she just looks like a fucking badass. So
yeah,
so sick. Okay, we are going to me for my number 3, and let's see here. I'm gonna take a love song too, because everyone else has so far, it seems like. I'm gonna take Sitting in the Cell, yeah, nothing I didn't do for something I didn't do, and all I can think of, baby, I think of you. Don't worry, baby, coming back for you. There's gonna be a postal breakout. This is a fucking great love song. You know what I mean? Like, let's take a fucking twist on a classic genre, the love song, and make it as dirty as possible. You know, all-time classic. I'm taking Sham 69, Borstal Breakout. Dude, one of the best songs ever. What do you think, Dan?
Okay, you swooped me. This was going to be my next pick, like my exact next pick. I already had it picked out. I think this song is incredible. Like it like you say, it's a driving song that is a love song, but it's also got so much menace and aggression in it. I always used to get threatened, especially by my nan, but by teachers, by everyone. Everyone used to threaten you, when I was young, like, you keep it up, you're going to end up in Borstal. Borstal is essentially juvenile hall, but it kind of got outlawed. For anyone who wants to know the real, well, not the real, but a dramatized version of Borstal, watch the amazing film by Alan Clark called Scum, featuring Ray Winstone. It's an absolutely all-timer of a brilliant film. But Borstal Breakout is, it's perfect by Sham 69. It's perfect when Sick of It All cover it. It's perfect when Negative Approach just came through and played it. Like, everyone wants to sing along because it's a perfect song. I love it so much.
What do you think, Clevo?
Yeah, sort of what I was, Dan sort of swooped me on this, saying, talking about Sick of It All. But yeah, I think that's another one where it's like, I feel like Sham 69 is one of those bands that, granted the amount of trouble that they had at their shows, I feel like that Sham 69 is one of those bands that like people from all walks of life can just get behind, and the hardcore kids and the skinheads and the punks and all of this. It's just like one of those like bands that like just everyone can agree upon, and they do have those songs that just kind of carry that, where it's like you want to sing along, you want to get out, you want to be in on it.
Yeah, I love it. What do you think, Ben?
Yeah, it's funny. Just when you mentioned this song, I was looking at my list of possibles and I was zoning in on this song, and I thought, maybe I'll pick that one next. Nope. This song, it's got this like the recording itself has this like mid-range power to it. It's almost like the entire recording is like a distorted guitar, but not in a shitty way, in a perfect way. And it's like, every time I hear it, I'm like, this is the perfect punk, like just aggressive punk recording. And of course the song itself is great too. I don't think you get Oi music without Sham 69, a year or two down the road. And this, I think this is the best song by Sham 69. I mean, If the Kids Are United it's up there, but this might have it beat. So congrats. You got my pick.
Okay, let's go to Ben for his number 4.
All right. I'm doing a cover song for my number 4 pick, and I believe this is the greatest cover song ever. Of course, you guys are going to start naming songs, and I'll be like, God damn, I didn't think of that. But this one is fucking great. And what's great about it is it subverts the original version of the song in a punk rock way. And I think a lot of punk bands would take songs from, the prehistory of punk, songs from the 50s and 60s and like punkify them. And like most of the time that formula falls flat on its face, but not in this case. I'm picking Sid Vicious with the song My Way. Sometimes this is credited to the Sex Pistols. This is not the Sex Pistols. Sid Vicious is singing, and no one else from the Sex Pistols is on this recording. This is from the Great Rock and Roll Swindle soundtrack. It's in the movie. He kills Nancy in it at the end, which is strange because he ends up killing or not killing Nancy later that year anyway. And it's originally a French song that I've never heard in my life, and the lyrics are about breaking up with a woman, but then Frank Sinatra does the English language version, and that's what this is making fun of. It's making fun of Frank Sinatra, essentially. He's singing like a crooner at the beginning, and then it gets all punk rock after the intro, and it's just so awesome sounding. And I want to say there's a Martin Scorsese movie. I know there is one. Is it Casino or is it Goodfellas? There that has this song, basically this entire song throughout some scene where with mobsters fucking killing each other and shit.
It's the closing credits to Goodfellas.
Goodfellas. Yeah. So come on, Marty Scorsese knows that this song rules too. And unfortunately, Sid only did in the studio. He did this and he did 2 Eddie Cochran covers, and that's pretty much it. Everything else by Sid Vicious is live and not the greatest sound quality. And then he ends up dying the following year.
Killed by Nancy's brother. What do you think, Dan?
Well, first of all, I would reiterate to our compatriot Ben that Sid Vicious is innocent.
That's
what
right.
He told us so.
That's right. Although I think that Ben was just relaying what was in the movie, not his actual opinion.
Well, he said he kills Nancy, and then does he kill her in real life? He's still questioning it. Ben, the evidence is in. What he said, Sid is innocent. So
that's right. That's right. Come
on. This song is special for me in a weird way. I've known it my whole life because this is one of my dad's favorite songs ever, the Sid Vicious version. And I remember like maybe 20 something years ago, I bought him the original like first pressing and got it framed, and he had it on his wall all the way through. Even when he moved into like a convalescent care thing, he still had that right by his bed on the wall. And he passed away earlier, not that long ago, and Zack was good enough to come to his little tribute thing, and we played this song, like the video of this song, at his little kind of like wake or whatever it would be, celebration of life or whatever. And it just is a song that will always remind me of that. And I do love the snare that Sid, once it goes punk, like he's doing a really warbly like attempt at doing like crooning, but it's like definitely tongue in cheek and make it like just being a dick. But when he starts the snare part, I really wish we'd heard more music with his vocals because the snare is so good.
Let's keep it with you, Dan. Number 4.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna go. There are so many songs, so many good songs. I'm going to go with, I'm going to go with a song that is, a lot of people regard this LP as being like not as good as the 2 LPs around it, and I will agree. But there are 2 songs on this LP that are all timers for the band. And this one in particular, I'm going to choose because it's just so catchy, but it's upbeat. And then the 2 vocals go off of each other in a perfect way at the end of the song. I'm going with Safe European Home by The Clash. The drumming on this, unbelievable. The vocals from Joe Strummer, unbelievable. But then the backups, underlying backups from Mick Jones, just make this an absolute genius song. And then Mick and Joe's vocals at the end are layering over each other, but almost like singing in the round, not singing the same lyrics, but ending each other's lines. And it's perfect. I absolutely fucking love this song so much. And if anyone out there doesn't like The Clash, get a fucking clue.
There are plenty of people out there that like alternative rock, Dan. So The Clash is a very popular band. What do you think, Clevo?
This is a bit of a hot take, but I think that this Clash LP might be my favorite Clash LP front to back.
I love that.
Which is kind of, but it's kind of crazy at the same time. It was hard to kind of narrow it down to songs to pick for tonight. It's another one of those records where I could have probably taken anything off of it. I probably won't take anything off of it now since we're doing this. But I think that this is. I think it's a bit of an overlooked LP because I think that people either go to the first LP or to London Calling. So if you haven't listened to this LP in a while, check it out.
What do you think, Ben?
Yeah, this was going to be one of my picks. It's like fun with fun with the mixing console, because at the end they pull down everything except the vocals and that one guitar that's doing the kind of reggae-ish rhythm, and then they pull the faders back up and you hear the drums start to come back in and the bass and the rhythm guitar, and it just sounds so massive. It's like the biggest sounding moment in any song. And it's like interesting. It's like a song about how they went to Jamaica to the Studio One to record a record, and they basically got like driven out of there by Jamaican gangsters. And so it's like most people, I don't know, to save face would like probably not want to like write a song about that, because it's like, yeah, we got punked by a bunch of Jamaican gangsters, but they're like, fuck that, this is like something that happened to us, and it's and we're gonna write a song about it, and how we're going back to our, you know, the safety of our homes in England. So I thought that was cool that they did that, and it is an incredible album. I know I always say like Sandy Pearlman, the Blue Oyster Cult guy, produced it. Well, I like Blue Oyster Cult. I mean, I think they made a great choice by having a really big rock sounding album as their second album, even though, yeah, the one before it and the one after it are better. But we're talking about The Clash here, maybe the best band that has ever existed. So the lows, well, the lows get pretty low much later on, but right now they're batting 1,000.
All right, Clevo, number 4.
I'm going to go back to the Danger House well, and I'm going to take X with We're Desperate. We talk about X quite a bit on here. I really, I really like this song largely because of just like the trade-off on the lyrics between John Doe and Exene. And I really do. I love the second verse where it's like, it's just kind of catchy, where it's, talking like Coca-Cola and Motorola kitchen, Naugahyde and a tie-dye t-shirt, just the way the lyrics just come out. It's just really, really catchy. And then, every other week I need a new address, and just talking about they're desperate. This is in Decline of Western Civilization. And, talking about it. And it's like, they thought that they were like becoming like too much rock stars to still sing this song, and they're like, they show them and they're just like living in total squalor, but they're like, oh, people are gonna think we're rich because like they paid $3 to see them the week before. So I think like the just sort of how they saw themselves and how other people saw them as being rock stars when they're like trying to like give themselves stick and poke tattoos in some kitchen is just kind of crazy to me.
What do you think, Ben?
Yeah, this is a good pick. Much like the Germs situation with Lexicon Devil, they ended up re-recording this song and the B-side for Wild Gift, the second X album in 81. And I'm just curious, Clevo, if you have a preference, if you like the Danger House 1978 single versions of these songs better than the Wild Gift versions.
Yeah, because I'm just that annoying person that's always going to be like the demo's better. Right. I just love the feeling of the single versions of these over the LP versions.
Right on. Yeah, great pick. X is I've seen them quite a few times. The original lineup got back together, I don't know, many years ago. But super talented band. Really unique because they really mix like rockabilly music with punk music, and not in a way where it's like, punk rockers dressing rockabilly because they worship Mike Ness. No, actual rockabilly music from the 50s. Like they know their shit. Billy Zoom knows his shit. He was born in the 40s. But yeah, really awesome band, unique take on punk.
And they just put out another LP.
Yep.
Yeah, and I think they're on a retirement tour, if that's not over yet. I love that you guys love this band. I can't stand this band. I like almost every like first wave punk band, at least to the level that like I enjoy having it on in the background. And this is like one I can't stand. And maybe it's a little bit of bias because like I think their part in Decline is boring as hell. But
it's too long.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't love it. I even like I've had Los Angeles forever, and like it's always like in my sell pile, and I'm always like, if I sell that, I'm not going to be able to get it back. Like I'm never going to want to like buy it again. And so like it's been sitting there for probably like 5 years in my sell pile, and like I think it's finally time to go because I listened to it again maybe, I don't know, a month or two ago, and it was like, yeah, I still don't like it. So I don't think I'm going to come around to it if I haven't yet. But I do think it's sick that you guys do. Okay, we talked about the birth of hardcore possibly being 78 with Middle Class Out of Vogue, unless it's Ben and he's saying it's 79. But here's another thing that it is the birth of, I believe, and that is the Buzzcocks doing what I think is the first D beat in punk with You Tear Me Up. I'm going to take that song. And I did see a video of a dude on YouTube that interviewed this guy as well as Tez from Discharge. And Tez was trying to say, oh, he's never heard this before, which is like bullshit, dude. You know what I mean? Like they started 77 or 78. Dude, how are you not hearing the fucking first Buzzcocks record? You're in a punk band. You know what I mean? That seems insane. Now, I'm not saying that he like lifted it or anything, but like it's got to be in the back of your head like, oh, that one song is kind of sick. You know, I don't know. What do you think, Dan?
Yeah, this is D-beat, like straight up. Like
it's
the way that drum comes in.
Yeah, and it's also it's a gnarlier like chord progression too. It's like it's not like a happy Buzzcocks song.
Yeah, it's definitely like a more pissed, darker Buzzcocks, even though it's still poppy and great. Sure. But it does have that. It's so funny because the first like two measures are without the guitar even like coming in, and that's just like it could easily be transferred to anything that has a really dark cover with some like photocopying. You know, great pick.
Yeah, what do you think, Ben?
Yeah, this is, as far as I know, the first punk song that has that beat. And like I said earlier, you can't go wrong with the Buzzcocks in 1978. They're just firing on all cylinders. Everything is perfect. Also, their recordings all sound perfect too. It's like, goddamn, like they did everything right. Like they're like pretty flawless. The drums are just recorded so well. You know, you hear the drums so well. Like a lot of stuff gets muffled in more low budget recordings. I think they were on United Artists, which is like kind of the equivalent of being on a major label. So they probably had a good budget for making these records. Thankfully.
All right, we are hitting the speed rounds. Ben, what is your number 5?
I'm going to keep it Buzzcocks. I'm going to go with Ever Fallen in Love with Someone You Shouldn't Have, because who can't relate to that?
All right, let's go to Dan for your number 5.
I'm going with GLC by Menace. The way this guitar comes right out the gate, oh, God, perfection, and brilliant vocals.
Clevo, let's go to you, number 5.
I'm going to take the Pagans with What's This Shit Called Love.
I've realized that I've backed myself into a corner, dude, because Street Where Nobody Lives might be my favorite song of 78, and it might not hit my list. It's like, what the fuck, dude? You know what? I'll take it right now. Real quick, I know this is speed round and shit. I did want to take the Kids, Jesus Christ Didn't Exist, because if Ben's talking about the greatest atheist songs ever, dude, maybe that one's hitting my number 7. But I got to take Pagan Street Where Nobody Lives. Let's go back to Ben, number 6.
I'm going to go Clash, White Man in Hammersmith Palais. Dan eloquently spoke about this song in a previous episode of 185 Miles South. So hit those archives.
Yeah, what episode was that, Dan? Was it like an early side A, side B?
I have no idea. Ben is normally the lexicon devil on this that can pull out the things. I just know that I did talked about what the lyrics are about, and you know, the true 185 people out there will know which one it was, and they'll sink right in. And I'm sure you can say which one it is in the Substack.
I'm not hunting it down. Dan, let's go to you for your number 6.
Okay, this is unbelievable. This already feels like a. I'm gonna do one to go along with Polystyrene and X-Ray Specs. I'm gonna take Susie Sue. I'm gonna take Susie and the Banshees, Hong Kong Garden. This is so catchy and so brilliant.
Clevo, number 6.
I'm going to take La Peste, Better Off Dead.
That's a Boston band, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, what do you know? Hit me up with that trivia. What's going on? Okay, let's see here. I got my number 6. I'm going to take the Zeros Wild Weekend. And everyone, jump in those archives. The San Diego episode will have aired by now, and I pontificate on this song. Well, we all do. So check that out. Okay, we are in the heartbreak round. What is your final pick, Ben?
Jesus Christ. Oof. This is tough. You know what? Even though this is another wimpy song, and I already picked Kiss Me Deadly by Generation X, which is also wimpy, this song is so perfect. And it's almost like it's almost like as great as Teenage Kicks, except if you had a ripping lead guitarist inserted into that. And I'm picking Another Girl, Another Planet by The Only Ones, a band I used to joke about. I used to say they got their name because they have only one good song, and it's Another Girl, Another Planet. I actually don't feel that way anymore. I think they have other good songs, but this song is leaps and bounds better than almost any other song that's ever been recorded by anybody, but certainly by The Only Ones. I don't know much about them. They're from England. Most of their stuff doesn't sound particularly punk. This is a love song. I love how it opens with a guitar solo. You don't hear that very much in music. I think about Modern Man by Bad Religion opening with a guitar solo. I'm sure there are plenty of other examples. It's just kind of rare, but it's just it doesn't get any better. You can get equal to this song, but you can't get better.
Clevo, what do you think?
This was going to be my next pick. Is this power pop? Is this punk rock? Is this what the Replacements basically copied for their sound? The song's great. It might not be a love song, or it might be a song about how much he loves heroin. But also, this is another song with great wordplay. It's like, I always flirt with death. I look ill, but I don't care about it. And then the other line where it's like, you get under my skin. I don't find it irritating. I love this song. It's such a catchy song. It does that solo in the beginning is like, it's probably like, not like a total like technical solo, but it's just like so catchy. That riff, the opening riff, the single guitar, and then I love the song, and I probably should have taken it earlier.
I love it. Okay, let's go to Dan for his number 7 heartbreak round, dude.
Well, I was going to say about The Only Ones is that I was, this was on my list, but I thought it would have been slammed down by the dictator of 185 as like, this is just power pop. You can't have this. So I didn't take it earlier because I lived in fear of that Zack smackdown. So I think the song is perfection, absolute perfection. Okay. Next up, we are going to go for the heartbreak round. I think I'm going to have a face-off between two songs about the pigs, and I don't know which one to go with. Do I go CID UK Subs, or do I go Police Oppression, Angelic Upstarts? And I think I'm going Police Oppression, Angelic Upstarts. The way that guitar starts, and then the song just builds, and the way Menzies' voice is like kind of low and in the pocket on this. You're asking me how and you're asking me why. Have you ever seen a grown man cry? Police, police, police oppression. It's so good. It's an all-timer. Like, it's Oi adjacent. I mean, I know they're considered like an Oi band in general, but it doesn't have like the full trappings of like what an Oi song would kind of become later on. I absolutely love it, though. It's been a song that since the minute I heard it, like probably in, I would guess like 1990 maybe, I've loved it ever since. So Police Oppression, Angelic Upstarts, gotta have it on the list.
Yeah, and it's a B-side, right? It's the B-side of Murder of Little Towers. Yeah,
That's
This
right.
is a great song. I love it, and I do worry. We hyped up 78 so big, and like I feel like we're maybe not representing how much 78 can. Excuse me, 78. I believe we haven't hyped up, or we haven't like represented how much like 1978 can like kick ass. You know what I mean? Like there's some stuff in here that's doing that, but like this is definitely helping the cause. So I appreciate that. This is an amazing song. It's like, it's one of those ones where you hear it once, you know it forever. And like, that's like the best of like this anthemic punk, and I mean, CID is like right there too. Like it's heartbreaking that CID is not on here. Maybe Cleveland will take it, or maybe like, we fucked up and we should have taken it to 79 when it gets re-recorded on the LP. So who's to say? Okay, Clevo, let's go to you for number 7, Heartbreak Round.
Yeah. Ben totally screwed me up with taking that. I was sure it was going to be there. I'm going to take the Bags, Babylonian Gorgon.
Wow.
This is, I think the lyrics on this are just really about like, just being a punk, being a weirdo, just being out of place. And just kind of not fitting in. And if you read Alice's autobiography, she really does talk a lot about how she never felt like she fit in, and didn't just felt like an outcast and all that. And I think this song really just boils it down. I think like her voice on this too is just really I just like the way the song sounds. Like it is basically how I'm going to say it. I think this is kind of getting to the end and trying to find something. But this is really another great song. And three tracks on my list tonight. With women singing, just kind of shows how the punk world kind of changed, from the end of the 70s into the 80s, how much the kind of world just kind of changed, and how, a lot of people talk about like, how macho that LA scene got in the early 80s. But another Danger House pick for me.
Yeah, gotta love that representation. Not everyone is a sexist like Ben. This is kind of a crazy pick in the way, though, that I think that the other side bodies it. Like the Survive is so sick. Like that like we talked it before. It does take a while to come in, but it's like we talked it before on the side A, side B, like maybe on the very first episode of that, and like, dude, like that vibe of the it's like it just feels like a black and white movie of like some dude hanging out underneath like a lamppost on like a rainy night flipping a quarter. You know what I mean? And like for like a first wave punk song to like conjure up an image like that in your head is like insane. But hey, this one kicks ass too. Like this is a great punk single, and like this early Danger House stuff, like how can you fuck with it? Like it's so good. Ben, what do you think?
You took the words out of my mouth. I was just going to say, what about Survive? That's the better side of the record. But yeah, I mean, it's the Bags. It's great regardless. But I'm with you, Zach. Survive. And also, just speaking on Danger House in general, people love to make fun of Howard Worth. Oh, and then they had this one guy who wasn't punk who was on the label. If you listen to the song Obsolete by Howard Worth, that sounds like a punk song to me, and it's really fucking good. So just wanted to toss that in there.
All right. Jesus Christ. This is it, huh? It's rough. 78. It's wild. We choose these years to do. And then like, we take like a couple months of like listening to the songs, and I narrow down like a rough playlist, and it narrows down more and more as we get closer to the episode. And like, it took a long time for us to do this episode. So I've probably had this playlist of like 20 songs narrowed down for, I don't know, 2 months now. And it has been an absolute pleasure listening to my 1978 playlist. You know what I mean? Like, this never gets old. Like, I didn't know we were doing this episode tonight, and whoever texted today was like, "We doing that tonight?" I was like, "Oh shit, I better listen to that again." So I listened to it on my bike ride. I was like, God damn, I know and love every single one of these songs. But the biggest pleasure of 1978 for me has been getting into the second LP by the Saints, Eternally Yours. I love the first one like a lot. And the second one, I listened to it because, of course, you like the first one, you want to listen to the second one. Well, the first 20 seconds of the first song on this record are fucking bullshit. You know what I mean? Like, it's like a horn attack. Like, obviously this came like, 20 years before or whatever, or like 10 years before, whatever the fuck, 15. But like, it sounds like the first No Doubt like CD to me, which I liked a lot when I was like a freshman in high school. I was like, what is this fucking No Doubt bullshit? But if you can fight your way through an onslaught of saxophone and whatever else they throw at you, this LP is absolutely amazing. And the reason why I gave it a second shot was because of that 185 Miles South episode with Paul Bearer and Jerry A. One of them was like, I love that second Saints record. And I was like, welp, if it's good enough for them, I'm going to figure this out. You know what I mean? And like, really, once you get past that 20 seconds, like, it is all killer, no filler, couple great punk ballads on there. And it was very hard for me to narrow down what song I want to take. But I think I settled in on Private Affair. It's an up-tempo, mid-tempo song. It's right in that like pocket that I like of that tempo. And the singer of this band has like maybe the best punk voice, like so naturally snotty, but only turned up to 4. And it's just like, he's got a beautiful voice. And yeah, like the way that this song goes, like the got new thoughts, new ideas. It's also groovy when it hits that part and it like pans to like the left headphone or whatever. Like, it's so sick, dude. And then it all like crescendos up to like this part where he does like dual vocals. Like, if people that listen to like Bad Religion, like the Glory Days, like the Suffer Through Against the Grain, Greg Graffin like does 2 voices, right? He does his low voice and his high voice. And sometimes he does them both at the same time. And like, this builds up to like this part, like the, 'cause not everybody wants to look the same. Not everybody wants to think the same. And he's doing like his punk voice. And then he's doing like this real, like lackadaisical voice, which like the only thing I can really compare it to is like the Strokes or something like that. But the way they play on each other just sounds so great. And like, I don't know, the sentiment of the song is fucking sick, building up to like, not everyone wants to look the same or think the same or act the same. Like, hey, dude, that's fucking punk. And they nailed it. And the last couple of years on this pod, us loving Australia, especially like Melbourne, with all the punk coming out of there, like, hey, I like to connect to the roots, dude. And, the Saints and Radio Birdman, 2 of my favorite bands. And I'm so excited to love a second album by the Saints. Now the third record, it's got this one's got a rough 20 seconds. That one's got a rough whole record.
Yeah, I'm so stoked that you're so hyped on this record because I've had the same experience with it. The first 20 seconds sound like Rocket from the Crypt, and then it just turns into awesome punk music. And I think my only problem with this record, with picking a song, was every song is so good I couldn't narrow it down. Like, they're all like kind of like 8s and 9s. Like, I think the closest I got on my honorables was Lost and Found, but it totally could have been Private Affair too. Like, it's so good. I definitely lean first Saints album more than second. And I agree with you on that third one. What happened there? Also came out in 1978, that third album. And it's just like, wow, they just decided, hey, let's stop playing incredible punk music and start playing not good music. Maybe they had some.
Hey, what do you guys think about Sucking on our next record?
Yeah. But
that's some shit.
I like that. I like that you're gradually getting more into this era of punk, because this is sort of like, I put this in as high regard as I do early hardcore. Like, it's right up there at the top with me.
What am I gradually getting into, Ben? Like, other than this record, I like everything.
I think if we had done the 1978 Super 7 3 or 4 years ago, maybe your list to pull from, your potential list would have been smaller than it is now. Would you say that's accurate?
Maybe. Yeah, but like I would say that's the same thing for 1986. You know, It's like I'm 3 years older, so like all my music stuff expands, although only in music that kicks ass, no bullshit. You know?
Hell yeah, brother.
Dan, what do you think about that's right. Dan, what do you think about this?
Well, Zach Nelson taking some Aussie single coil. Gotta live that gimmick. You know? Gotta live that gimmick.
Such a gimmick.
The one thing I would say is like when you were pointing out like the nonchalant style vocal, I think that like is almost like a Velvet Underground reference.
Yeah, it was dumb of me to like go forward for a reference because obviously like that's not the case. It's the first thing that pops into my head, right?
Of course, yeah, because the Strokes are kind of channeling that also. But yeah, this is a really good thing. I'm really glad you encouraged me to listen to this more because I had never dipped in on this.
What's your experience, Dan? Do you like the first one though?
Yeah. I mean,
and then you never fucked with this. Is it the same thing? Like you put it on and you're like, what the fuck is this horn attack?
No, I just never knew there was more, really.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I never, I was like I'm stranded like Superboy and then never really went further. And I'm glad I did because, Melbourne delivers then, Melbourne delivers now.
What do you think, Clevo?
So I'm not terribly familiar with this, and it's kind of brings me back to when we start talking about some of the older stuff, and even not some of the older stuff where it's like, it's impossible to know every piece of music that's come out in the past 50 years. So it's always cool to find stuff that, maybe have gone under the radar or maybe, just wasn't available to me at some point, which I think is super cool. So I'm psyched to check this out.
Yeah, hell yeah. And people don't get at us. We know they're from Brisbane, so that's what's up.
I don't.
Well, now you do. So don't get at Dan and don't get at us. Okay,
Brisbane.
Let's get into the honorable mentions. Dan, what do you got?
Okay. Love Battery, Buzzcocks, one of the best songs about a penis of all time. Identity, X-Ray Specs, CID, UK subs. Now, pod listeners, do not drag us over the coals because you deserve to, but Alternative Ulster, Stiff Little Fingers, Suspect Device, Stiff Little Fingers, none of us took those. What the fuck? If the Kids Are United, basically the birth of Oi, the true birth of Oi, bringing the terraces into music. Needles and Pins, the Ramones, King of the Bop, the Nipple Erectors, I'm Not a Fool, Cockney Rejects, Homicide, 999, Running Riot and We Love You by Cocksparrow, the other masterpiece off of that Clash record, Stay Free, Mick Jones just singing from the heart, I love it. A-Bomb in Wardour Street and Down in the Tube Station at Midnight by The Jam, R.I.P. Rick Buckler, Wild Weekend, The Zeros, both the Weirdos songs, Wasted Life, Stiff Little Fingers, Another Girl, Another Planet, Only Ones, Shot by Both Sides Magazine, Warsaw by Warsaw, then Joy Division, I Am the Fly by Wire, Walk On By The Stranglers, and then I had another 25, which I won't bore you with.
Dan, the Buzzcocks have to be the horniest first wave band, right?
Yeah, and Low Pro being very transgressive too, singing because Pete was gay, but not really kind of like leaving it open. I don't know. It's just fantastic. Yeah, super horny. But that song, Love Battery, is just an ode to the penis.
I'm shocked that you and Ben didn't take a Ramones song, although I respect it because I was going to come at you with this take and I'm going to get it out there now since we're at the end of the episode and you can't bark at me too hard. But I always thought the first 4 Ramone LPs were pretty close in how good they were. And I think there's a relatively steep fall off on this one. In fact, when Tommy leaves the Ramones, I think that they're halfway cooked. What do you think?
Agree.
I mean, yes and no. I mean, yes, in the traditional what you would think of the Ramones from the first, but we've got the classics of Bonzo Goes to Bitburg and that kind of Ramones to come. And
yes.
I love that Ramones so much.
That's true, but that's my point. So the first 3 records, Ramones are a band that kicks ass. And like this is the first record where they change to a band that has great songs on their record. But like the record is like it's way more hit or miss because like the base of the band is not just like an ass kicking band. You know what I mean? So that's what I think. I'm glad you guys are open to that. So respect. Clevo, honorable mentions.
Let's see. Black Randy, Idi Amin, The Clash, that whole LP, Generation X, Johnny Thunders, Magazine, Shot by Both Sides, we had mentioned. That Ramones LP, Long Way Back is such a catchy song, but it really is, that's like that whole album just has a different vibe. All of those Stiff Little Finger songs we mentioned, Fear, I Love Living in the City, Now You're Dead, The Jam, and not a punk or hardcore album, but the first Van Halen album comes out in 1978, and that's fucking Ripper.
Hey, Boston boys are allowed to love that hard rock. What's going on? Ben, you got 30 seconds.
Well, I'm not going to have enough time, but I will say I do have a playlist on Spotify. It's entitled 1978 Bedges Punk/Hardcore Super 7. It has all...
Time's up, sucker.
All right. 1978. Here we go, dude. I got a long ass list because I'm not shackled by the rules that I set. 84 Flesh, Salted City, 999, I'm Alive. Dan got the Angelic Upstarts. Aki Del Rock, Kiro Tudo, Asphalt Jungle, Polly Magoo, Bag Survive, Bizarro's Laser Boys. Got the Buzzcocks song, Chain Gang, Cannibal Hymn, The Child Molesters, Hillside Strangler, shitty band name, sick ass song. The Chosen Few, The Joke's on Us, god damn that kicks ass. Believe it or not, Dan, I got The Clash, English Civil War. Who knew? Cox Bar, Check on My Shoulder, Controllers, Neutron Bomb, the alt version, let's just call it the salty version of the Neutron Bomb. The Cramps, their best song, Human Fly. Crisis, PC 1984. The Cybermen, Where's the New Wave? The Damned love song. Dead Boys, Third Generation Nation. The Deadbeats, Kill the Hippies. Demon Preacher, Little Miss Perfect. Destroy All Monsters, You're Gonna Die. The Dickies, Give It Back. DOA, The Prisoner. The Dogs, Fed Up. Ebenezer and the Bludgeons, Fake. Electro Chalk, Chase Electrique. The Eyes, Don't Talk to Me, F Word, Out There, The Fingers, Isolation, Flirt, Don't Push Me, Flies, Civilization, Freestone, Bummer Bitch, a Killed by Death classic, Fresh Color, No Chance. Dude, the bands out of Belgium are punching above their fucking weight class. They bring the heat. The Fruit Eating Bears, Going Through the Motions, shitty band name, great song. Generation X, Day by Day, Germs, Lexicon Devil, got that one. Goblins, London. The Grim Clone Band, Heat's Rising, Guilty Razors, Provocate, Helmets, I Don't Care What the People Say. Maybe the most punk song of all time. I don't care what the people say. Sick. Hollywood Squares, Hillside Strangler. Another good version. We might have to put those two head to head one day. We'll see. Iggy Pop, I Got It Right. I don't know if it's from this year, if that's earlier. Jackie Shark and the Beach Butchers, Second Generation Rising. Dude, we're only in J. We're taking the other Germs. Germs with a Z. Me and My Baby. Johnny Moped, Panic Button. Shameful that Dan turned his back on Johnny Moped. Johnny Thunders, Leave Me Alone. Caca Deluxe, La Pluma Electrico. The Kids, Rock Over Belgium. La Came Ox Damelis, La 5E Rue du System. Last Words, Animal World. La Peste, Better Off Dead, Clevo Got It. The Mad, Eyeball. Maggots, Let's Get Tammy Wynette. Dan Menace, GLC. I think you got that on your honorables. Middle Class Out of Vogue. Oh, we didn't get
regular.
Menace, GLC. Gotcha.
No, I got it regular.
Oh, you got it regular. Yeah. Sick.
Yeah.
Middle Class Out of Vogue, although Ben says it's 79. Dan got Misfits Bullet. The Mutants, So American. News, Chop Chop Chop. The Normals, Almost Ready. The Nuns, Savage. PF Commando, Suburban Kid. Got the Pagans. Plugs, Move. Pointed Sticks. Somebody's Mom. Shout out to the Canadians. Psych. Psychosurgeons, Horizontal Action. Radio Birdman, Aloha Steve and Dano. Ramones, Bad Brain. What's up? And I believe 78 is the first Bad Brains demo, or at least their practice like cassette. Raxola, 84 Man. Razor, Task Force. The Rosillos, Mystery Action. The Rotters, Sit on My Face, Stevie Nicks. That is the first 805 punk song recorded. The Saints got them. Satan's Rats, You Make Me Sick. Seizure, Frontline. Sham 69 got them. Shock, This Generation's on Vacation. Skids, Of One Skin. Skids are sick. Hey, where do they land for you, Dan?
I like them a lot, but they're a little bit lower on the tier, especially in a year like this for me.
For sure. They got some hits though. The Skinnies, I'm a Dullard. That's a Louisiana punk band in 78. How do you think it was for them? You know, the LA bands talk about like getting shit talked to them for being a punk in LA. Imagine how it was for the fucking Skinnies in Louisiana being a punk band in 78. Jesus Christ. The Skulls, Victims. The Slicky Boys, Put a Bullet Through the Jukebox. Stiff Little Fingers, Suspect Device. Strychnine, Jack the Ripper. Subhumans from Canada, Death to the Sickoids. God damn, hurts to not have that on my list. Suburban Reptile, Saturday Night Stay at Home. Tapeworm, Break My Face. UK Sub, CID. The Undertones, Teenage Kicks. We got that one on there. Unnatural Acts, They Saved Hitler's Brain. Maybe a couple years later, you know, done by Angry Samoans, They Saved Hitler's Cock, right? V2,
did they put them both on Trump's body?
V2, Nothing to Do. Victims, Nervous. Victims from a different place. I'm Flipped Out Over You. Vomit Pigs, Babies Playing Games. The Weirdos, we got them. Wipers, Up in Flames. X, We're Desperate. X-Ray Specs, Identity, and the Zeros, Wild Weekend. I got that one. Dude, 1978, hell of a fucking year. Final thoughts, Dan.
Well, there was egregious line stepping from the host on the quickfire round where he went on for about 3 minutes about something, and then there was egregious line stepping on the thing. But you know, we love it. 1978, it might be the best year ever. Like, you know, it's just you could throw a dart at all of your list of honorables, and anything you hit is just gonna be like surefire brilliance, you know. So I love 1978. I also love that it wasn't just transatlantic, you know, the stuff elsewhere, even though I only went transatlantic.
Yeah, and that's why I had to do that long ass list too, because there's lots of international punk, and lots of it kicks ass. I did a giant playlist. It's on YouTube. You'll see it in the Substack tomorrow or the next day, if I'm still doing Substack by then. But it's on YouTube. You can find it, 1978 punk playlist, and it'll come up. Yeah, Clevo, final thoughts.
You know, every year is a good year for punk and hardcore. Some years are great years for punk and hardcore.
This one's great, dude. What do you think, Ben?
Yeah, I don't think of all the Super 7s we've done, we've used the adjective perfect to describe more songs that we've picked and each other's picks. And I don't think we've swooped each other more than we have on this episode. So we are certainly in agreement on this year kicking ass.
Time's up, sucker.
Dan, where can the people find you?
Yeah, just to echo what Ben just said. I mean, Alternative Ulster and Suspect Device didn't get on our lists. That's how perfect 78 is.
That's
people
insane.
can find me at Southport Instagrammer on Instagram.
Ben, where can the people find you?
My band is called Future Confusion. We are on Instagram. I run that Instagram. It's at Future Confusion, no spaces.
Clevo, where can the people find you?
At Clevo on Instagram. And, you know, you could also find me at 10 Yard Fight Boston on Instagram, apparently this year.
Okay,
Thanks,
everyone,
Jesus.
get at me. 185 miles south at gmail.com, 185 miles south on all the socials, also on Substack. Yeah, we love you all. We will talk to you again next Monday on Patreon. Hey, the Patreons keep this podcast alive. Consider smashing that Patreon button. Handle business.